tonight's topic I am incredibly excited about. We called it Revisiting Energy Democracy, but that's just because we wanted to tease you because we have a special announcement in regards to renewable energy. It's really about just transitions, moving our communities from extractive economies that take from us and making them into generative economies where we build together. So we have two great guests, Harper Bishop, who is Economic and Climate Justice Coordinator at Open Buffalo. He has been a leadership trainer for easily a decade, a policy advocate, and also part of the successful first ever community land trust in this region.
All right.
And also co-coordinator of the Crossroads Collective. Gabriel Recchio, my co-worker on public interest policy to fight climate change. He's worked with NYPIRG, I know. He's formerly from Rochester and spent a year there as the lead outreach coordinator.
Yeah, you can say
Yes,
that.
lead outreach coordinator of the sales team for Suncommon. So he has been a part of literally hundreds of families getting solar and also worked in community solar. So would you like to say hello to the people?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Want to thank my Push family for having me tonight.
It's our pleasure. Okay.
Yeah, hey everybody, super pumped to be here. Thanks for that awesome introduction, Luke.
Yeah, it's exciting tonight. So let me start off by saying this is an excellent program coming up tonight. You're going to want to get your phone on speed dial, 716-837-1112 to call in with any questions. The topic again, just transitions. What does that look like and what does that mean? So we should start with Harper to tell us a little bit about what is the 100% campaign.
Great. So I'll actually start us ahead of the 100% Buffalo because I think it's important to give people context and background information about what the Crossroads Collective is.
Okay.
And Open Buffalo and Push Buffalo are the two anchor partners for a coalition of 10 progressive organizations that are researchers and growers, organizers and activists, artists, low-wage workers, all coming together, as you explained, to move us from an extractive economy where resources are being taken from our community and our workers are being, and people and folks in our communities are being exploited, namely communities of color and low working class people, white working class people, to a regenerative economy where everyone shares in the wealth that is created and people feel empowered. And so there's been a powerful movement really across the country and cities across the country and internationally that are moving towards 100%.
Wow.
And the 100% idea is, and we'll be talking about this tomorrow, is what would our city look like if we had 100% renewable energy? And Push Buffalo and Western New York Environmental Alliance will lead that conversation. What if we had access to public transportation, that we could get to the jobs and safe, affordable housing? What would that look like? And let's envision that, right, with the Coalition for Economic Justice and the Buffalo Transit Riders United Coalition. What if we had local food systems that actually we could grow our own food and black farmers and folks were reclaiming the land? You talked about the Fruit Belt Community Land Trust.
Yes.
And land ownership, we know in this moment of gentrification, is really important. And to take back where we live in our food systems and knowing what we eat and that it's healthy and safe, that's what the African Heritage Food Co-op and the Massachusetts Avenue Project, which also is in the Green Development Zone, as we know.
Nice.
And then we'll also be touching on worker empowerment or worker ownership with myself in Cooperation Buffalo, who has become a hub for worker ownership and trying to transition people away from the idea of, if we talked about in the 90s, moving away from the big box store. Now we're moving away from the boss because we ourselves own our own labor and should be able to create social enterprises and worker cooperatives that take care of our people and the needs that they have and localizing our economies. And so it's very visionary. It's going to be a lot of fun. And also it's based on the work that we're doing with the New York Renews campaign in New York State, which is the Push for Climate and Community Protection Act. And, you know, millions, if not billions of dollars that can come back to our communities, and especially frontline communities that have been hardest hit by income inequality and environmental injustice, which we know is based on racial capitalism.
Wow.
So that's what we're doing tomorrow. It's going to be at the Grant Street Neighborhood Center. We're keeping it in the neighborhood,
Nice.
271 Grant Street. You can contact my man John Washington at john@pushbuffalo.org or 884-0356 for more details. We get underway at 5:30 p.m. There's going to be food till 6,
Yay.
then the workshop till 8,
Wow.
and there's childcare provided. So there's really no excuse for our folks not to be out there having a good time and learning and educating themselves about how we can take advantage of the money that is owed to us through intentional divestment. Let's take it out of the hands of the wealthy and let's put it into the hands of all of us.
That sounds fantastic. I really am looking forward to that so much. It reminds me a little bit of the community congresses that Push has done,
That's right.
where folks literally came together and were like, gee, what do we want?
That's right. Exactly.
So,
And so and you're absolutely right. So the input that's gathered tomorrow, we have no preconceived notions about what it is. We're not organizing people into a platform. We're actually asking them to build the platform with us that we will then be empowered to take to our elected officials, to the mayor, and to the governor. So we really need people's input. So you're absolutely right. Tomorrow is all about the people's voice and the people's platform.
that's incredible. Now, before we get to my brother Gabe, I gotta ask, we had a guest, wonderful guest, Luz Velez, come on, and she mentioned something called the Polluters Fund. Is that like looking to be one of the sources for?
Exactly. So the polluter penalty that will be attached to New York Renews is how we'll generate the money necessary. So again, if you do bad to our community and you ill and you make us sick, you're going to pay to clean it up, and you're going to also, be funding these projects that are innovative, that are solutions to what we need. So yeah, exactly. There's a polluter penalty being introduced simultaneously as a revenue generator, because I think that people say we're too idealistic or we live in utopia.
Who's gonna pay for
yes,
that?
exactly. Utopianism, and the Republicans always say to us, yes, like who's going to pay for that? And our answer is big business is going to pay
Right.
for that, and the people that are making us sick are going to pay for that.
It's really about time.
That's right.
It's about time.
That's right.
Now, Gabe,
Yes.
I thought it was really important to have you here. I don't want to get overexcited, even though it makes me so excited. Push Green came about because of a project called Green Jobs, Green New York. And that is, as Harper was saying, National Fuel generating disgusting profits and demanding, the people demanded that some of that profit go back to the communities to, rebuild the destruction they've done to the environment through weatherization programs, green jobs. So that's how Push Green came about in the first place, and that was just people saying, you know what, enough already. So Gabe is our new solar energy advocate. And in terms of thinking about what's possible and people thinking that certain things are crazy and, we can't do that in Buffalo. Can you break down for us a little bit? Does solar work in Buffalo? It snows here.
Oh man, I'm so happy you teed that up for me. Even though that's probably the easiest question to answer, it's probably the biggest question people have when they first hear about solar. They say, solar here in New York, and we've actually seen that in Western New York, even though we have variable weather and not a ton of sun on an annual basis, so in a year we get more sun than they do in Germany, who
What?
up until this year when China surpassed them was the #1 producer of solar energy on the planet. So we get enough solar resource or sun to power literally everything in our lives. People's utility bills and electric is the low-hanging fruit right now, and
Wow.
that's where we're starting. So a little bit more about that. The reason why we don't have to worry about the fact that we don't have annual sun.
Right.
Anybody that goes solar right now, through the opportunities that we're connecting people to, both rooftop and community solar, you stay connected to the grid. The same way that you're connected to get your electric right now, that's what happens when you go solar.
Okay.
It's just that when you put that solar array on your roof, or when you get your electric from a local community solar array or a solar farm field full of solar panels, they size your system big enough. They give you enough solar panels where it'll overproduce enough electric in the sunny months out of the year, and you get to bank that extra power as credits that stay on your bill.
Nice.
So that in the not so sunny months, when your panels aren't producing enough to power your home, you're debiting those credits and you don't have to pay for it. So that means on an annual basis, your net bill to the electric company, specifically for electric, can be zero. You still have to pay a monthly fee for the quote-unquote privilege of being connected to the grid.
Yeah.
But that means that in and of itself means we don't have to worry at all about the fact that we don't have annual sun. Like I said, we have more than enough sun here.
Wow. I had no idea we had. My son is Germany. They have everything powered by electricity. The heat for their homes, in addition to the lights, everything, absolutely everything. So, what's been your experience working on getting folks to really consider solar?
So it's been awesome. I mean, Push is an amazing organization, so I'm so happy to be a part of it. I'm new. It's only going into my 2.5 month, but as you know, folks who know Push know very well. Our bread and butter is educating folks, getting out into the community and engaging with them. And we've identified that the biggest barrier right now to people going solar is just a lack of education. So it's really empowering for me personally to be striking at the heart of this issue and connecting people to this really important information, letting them know that yes, solar works here. Yes, it will save you money, despite what you might have read online. Call me to get the best info. And it's been a great experience. There's a ton more work to do though, so I'm really excited to talk more about it and continue to do the work.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm excited about it. Very excited about it. I couldn't help but think of it getting ready to come here today when I believe at 5 o'clock it was night.
Right.
We really don't get a lot of sun around here, do we? And maybe you could answer this, Harper. In terms of fighting gentrification, what we tell ourselves at Push Green is the more sustainable you can be in every way, it helps make the whole community stronger. Is that kind of what you're getting at with
Yeah, we're looking at a holistic approach and saying that we want healthy homes as well as safe communities and ownership, and that's how you build the basis really of community controlled economies. And that's really what we're getting at, is that we collectively can make a decision, we can trust each other, and we've been taught by systems and structures in society that we shouldn't trust each other, that we should actually be skeptical or fearful of each other, and that's what this political climate is about. But we're taking back, and we're seeing that on a local level, people are really looking into building a resilient community and economy by some of these solutions, and that there's been a lot of false solutions offered to us, but we're not having it, right? That we're actually fighting back and building new. So that is what we're getting at. And also, I think that people think that solar is just for middle-class white folks.
Yes.
And that's the only communities that deserve it are places like Clarence and East Aurora and Williamsville, and that's not right. And the Green Development Zone is a prime example of that, right? Of how you can actually have all of these communities and folks with affordable housing or low-wage earners live in sustainable, and it actually saves them money over time to do so.
Yeah.
And so, I think that I could talk a lot about how I think the Green Development Zone is a model, and it is a model both nationally and internationally of what's possible.
Yeah. Speaking of models about what's possible, I know it's a little early in, but we want callers to get up on this, and maybe feel free to call. Bombshell that I learned about, 2 weeks now, in regards to possibilities of solar for low to moderate income folks like myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just spill the beans here.
Dun, dun, dun.
The big reveal. I like it.
So, although we've identified, like I said, that the biggest barrier is a lack of education, when you can own your own system, it's hugely beneficial over the long run. Unfortunately, we've identified that for a lot of the communities that we're a part of, low to moderate income communities, they don't have the financial ramifications set up where they can, for example, take advantage of the tax credits
Right.
and allow for owning your own system to really be affordable. So, for example, if you own your own home, there's a 30% federal tax credit available, 25% state tax credit. That means if you make enough money, you can get up to 65% of the total cost of your solar system back when you file taxes.
Amazing.
Low to moderate income communities, it's not always available for them to do that. So that's been a huge barrier for
Yes.
them. And like Harper was saying, these communities need it more than anyone else. Low to moderate income communities pay proportionally the largest chunk of their income on
right.
their utility
That's right.
bills. So
Yeah.
that's where it should be starting.
Yeah.
And that's why we're focusing on it.
Yeah.
So we're super pumped as part of our, to get to the point now. I said I was going to spill the beans. I'm
He's
just
teasing us.
teasing y'all. Get right to the point. Our awesome solar partner, Solar Liberty, who's a local company, the largest installer of solar panels in New York State. They have put together, specifically for Buffalo, and in a sense for Push Buffalo, a lease option. So for folks that don't have that annual income, or in other words, a tax liability to take advantage of those federal and state tax credits to really bring the cost down, now they can, at no upfront cost, or a lot of these folks are going to be able to, at literally no upfront cost, go solar, get awesome top-of-the-line solar arrays installed on their homes, and immediately start saving money. So it's super important that people understand that you need to first, number one, take a look at owning your own system.
Sure.
That's over the long run is going to be the most financially beneficial, but this is a huge additional option that is going to open up accessibility to going solar to so many more folks, and especially, like we were saying, the folks who need it most.
Wow. I'm so excited. So excited.
Maybe you don't. Can I ask a question?
Oh, of course.
I don't know if you know how many families do you think that will impact in what localities?
I'm going to use my easy out here, where I'm still getting
No,
started.
that's
so
no.
demographic
I know.
info.
I threw it out.
But
But,
I can kind of answer that.
Yeah.
I mean, even without the lease being available, solar is so affordable right now that we're at a point where we can see enough people take advantage of that to take the size chunk that we need to take action effectively against climate change. So that's how many people, enough to take an adequate chunk out of climate change and to make a really significant impact in our economies, because when you go solar, you're paying yourself instead of the utility company.
Yes.
You're keeping your money local instead of sending it overseas to National Grid, I think, in
England,
UK.
I believe.
Yeah.
So that's huge, and that's exactly what we're talking about. So
Fantastic.
It's beautiful.
I heard a little bit about this. I kept trying to take it in. We've had a couple of meetings to talk about this new solar. Now, if I understand this correctly, you'll have the solar kind of fitted to the needs of your particular household.
which is based on your viable roof space, which just means what parts of your roof get the most sun. So we talk about fancy words like solar viability. It's really just, do you get enough sun where panels would produce a lot of electric? So it gets fit to your roof, and according to how much electric you use in a year, they look at your past electric bills. Solar Liberty will size a system, hopefully big enough to cover your annual electric needs. So like I was saying earlier, you have a lot of people end up being able to net zero out their electric bill.
Lovely.
Specifically for electric. So I don't know if I jumped ahead and answered your question, or I didn't.
No, you did, because even after kind of hearing about this secondhand, because I don't work specifically with solar, I feel like these are the questions people have.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did notice that where I live on the west side, just from the look of it, in that green development zone, a lot of homes are really, really well placed. Like they seem to get sun all day.
Yeah. Well,
there's no fancy gables and cupolas or whatever they call them.
That's a really important point to make, actually. Just so folks know, as long as you don't have a bunch of trees or tall buildings casting a ton of shade onto your home, it's worth across the board getting an analysis done to make sure. But just so folks know, a south-facing roof is ideal. An east-west facing roof only affects the production of a solar system on that roof by maybe about 10%.
Oh, wow.
So it's really not a big deal at all. The most important thing is that you have big, flat, open spaces, like you were saying, not a bunch of dormers.
Right.
Weird architectural, or maybe some people like them, they don't have to be weird. Architectural formations on roofs, just places where you could get big chunks of flat solar up there. So most importantly, reach out so we can do that free analysis for you. But I'm always going around, and every other building, it's like, oh, why isn't there solar up there? It's like picture perfect for solar, and the market penetration is nowhere near there. So like I was saying, folks just haven't had an opportunity to learn about how affordable how much it makes sense yet, and that's what we're working at.
And I think this is an important conversation as it relates to gentrification, right? Because when you have one of the oldest housing stocks in the United States, those bills are significant. And as we know, as we know, the affordability of rent is decreasing, right? That it just keeps on climbing. It's up. It's the new Buffalo. The Renaissance has arrived. Mission accomplished, George W. Bush style.
Right.
It's like now we have concentrated poverty and concentrated wealth, and we know it's hitting the downtown, and the Renaissance is not hitting the neighborhood.
Yes.
So these solutions and community-focused solutions in energy democracy, I think, is also key in talking about this. Is like not only leaning on a solar liberty, as great as that is, that it's local and whatnot, but also that we can own and then collectively own solar, and democratization of that is also really important. So I think that again goes into the visioning of 100% Buffalo, and what that looks like is like this is the solution, and we're moving at the speed that we can and the speed of trust with the people we're building with, but ultimately we want the real solution, and that's us collectively owning, much like a land trust, and taking ownership of energy production and all these things.
That brings up something that I wanted to mention. Right now we're exploring community solar options. Recently, the regulations in New York changed a few years ago where, believe it or not, we weren't able to, in the past, build...
I believe it.
Right.
Right, I keep telling myself, like, I'm going to stop being surprised about these terrible things, but it still surprises me. I guess I'm an idealist, but we weren't able to, in the past, build solar farms or fields full of solar panels and then divvy that electric up to specific, renters or homeowners. Now we can do that.
Nice.
We're at this really sweet spot right now, both with community solar and with leasing your own system and with owning your own solar array, where we have an opportunity for the community to control their own resources, right? So we know right now that solar electric is the cheapest form of new electricity generation. So if you built 1 million homes and you wanted to power electric for all of them, it wouldn't be, hydrofracking, it wouldn't be, burning coal, it wouldn't be nuclear. The absolute cheapest form of powering those homes would be solar.
Wow.
So that's great for us. We're learning that. What that means, though, is that the monopolistic, transnational, greedy, just by design, utility companies, the current power structures, they're already making moves, and in the immediate and short and not so distant future, we're going to see solar existing at a utility scale. And it's not going to be...
Here's looking at you, Elon Musk.
Right.
So it's great, right? We know we need to reduce our, carbon emissions, but we also don't want this transition to be owned by the same terrible...
Yeah, exactly. They're just...
So and I don't mean to, but right now we're at the sweet spot where a lot of these, bigger organizations, they're having their organizational lag, and they're still developing these big projects, and we have this opportunity right now to take advantage of this affordability and to own our own systems, to power our homes ourselves, keep more money in our pockets, in our community, and, not to be cliche, but everybody wins.
Everybody wins. Yeah, it's a win-win-win. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm even more excited now. Even more excited. Good job, Gabe. So maybe you should mention, just to mention the connection, the folks that design the solar panels that will be used for this program. I believe the owner is from Buffalo. Is that what I understood? And that was why he kind of had it on his heart to...
Not that they designed the solar panels, but Solar Liberty it is a local company. It's a local company. And, right now, every time you pay your electric bill, that money is getting funneled not only, out of your community, out of the state, but literally out of this country. So... Actually, Solar Liberty's headquarters is it's out in the suburbs, but still that's it's a huge win. And when you own your own system, every time you pay your bill on your solar panels, you're adding equity to your home. So you're paying yourself instead of the utility company, keeping your money local instead of sending it overseas. And they're a great company. And right now, again, that's part of why the spot we're at is such a sweet spot, is because this solar space is being run by small companies like Solar Liberty and like Suncommon, who I just finished a year at in Rochester. They were employee-owned small local companies, really benefiting our local economy. So
beautiful. So do we dare give your number, Gabe, at Push Green?
Oh,
You'll have
absolutely.
12 million messages. Will you show up
Oh,
tomorrow
man,
morning?
I love it. I've knocked on so many doors talking about this that every single time a person actually asks me, it's just, it's awesome. So I'm really excited to share the information with people. At the end of the day, don't listen to your friends, don't listen to stuff you read online. Get the analysis done. Call me. Our office number is 716-886-1780.
Not giving out the cell phone. No, not doing it. Not doing it.
Once you do call, though, leave a message. I will reach out via my cell phone because that's the best way that I like to contact people. But another way that's great to contact me is my email. It's Gabriel, Gabriel at pushbuffalo.org. So pushbuffalo.org. And yeah. You don't need to worry about whether or not you think it might make sense or if it's something you want to do right now. Just get the analysis done. Talk to us. Make sure that you work with us to get to the point where you know exactly what your options are. So you don't need to take my word for it. You can figure out specifically according to your circumstances how much this is going to benefit with you, not if it's going to benefit you. Because now between the lease and the different financing options that are available, it's super accessible, even for low to moderate income communities. So